You're watching KLTX, Channel 15, serving the city of Lufkin.
It's a new year and the city is making new changes. The CDC is recommending new vaccinations for our young teens. And come along as we ride the beat with one of the city's finest. Hi everyone, I'm Yana Ogletree, and thank you for joining us for this edition of City Hall Update. The Lufkin City Council has accepted a proposal for the new development of a new master plan for the Ellen Trout Zoo. During last month's council meeting, Zoo Director Gordon Henley explained the growth plan.
We're looking at the possibility of, as you go through the zoo, have an opportunity to maybe do a little zip line or some ropes. We're looking at the possibility of a canopy walk so that you would see animals in the treetops where they actually are found in the wild, and opportunities for greater family get-togethers and for our education programs and conservation programs and science. We're just looking forward to lots of opportunities for doing that with new development of new exhibits and the growth of the zoo. Animals that people have asked about, black bears, bringing black bears back, and wolves have been something that people have asked for all along, and that would blend perfectly in with some of the new plans. Now we have an architect that is going to help us with the plans, and there'll be some other folks involved with it, and so we can't tell you for sure which way it's actually going to go, but these are some things that have been brought up in discussions about making the zoo even more of a destination for folks.
The development of the plan is estimated to cost $36,500. Along with the development of a new zoo master plan, the council also accepted an $18,000 development proposal of a gorilla exhibit. Both proposals were presented to the zoo from Merlin E. Seaman Associates, or MESA. Director Gordon Henley has also released the zoo's attendance statistics for 2015. Attendance at the Ellen Trout Zoo reached over 131,000. Now that's the highest it's been in 12 years and the second highest since the zoo began charging an admission. Normally attendance figures average 120 to 121,000 per year. In 2014, attendance was 121,404. The zoo saw an increase of approximately 10,200 guests, or an increase of nearly 8.5%. The zoo's newest jaguar, Balam, continues to recover after suffering a severe injury to his front leg. As you may recall, Balam reached his front leg through to his mother's exhibit. As a result, Balam's leg was fractured. Although veterinarian Dr. Nance was able to treat Balam's injury, it wasn't enough. It was determined that in order to save Balam's life, the limb would have to be amputated. Dr. Nance consulted with Dr. Lindsay Seiler of Angeline Animal Hospital, where the surgery was performed. Today, Balam is active, eating well, and gaining weight. The City of Lufkin Regional Recycling Center and Angelina Beautiful Clean are hosting the annual Household Hazardous Waste Collection Day, Saturday, March 5th. The event will be held at the city's recycling center at 500 South Park Drive from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Now, this is a great chance to dispose of a variety of hazardous wastes that include paints, cleaners, and automobile fluids, along with a number of electronic devices. You can find a complete list of acceptable items on the City of Lufkin Solid Waste website, or you can contact Angelina Beautiful Clean at 632-5326. The Kurth Memorial Library is temporarily increasing its hours of operation now through April 2nd. Library officials want to see if the public will support the extended hours during this 4-month trial period. The new pilot hours are posted on the library's webpage at the city's website. And make sure to check the library's webpage to find the list of monthly programs offered at the library. The City of Lufkin encourages you to keep your New Year's resolution and stay active in 2016. Now open are the newly renovated tennis courts at Chambers Park. The courts have been repainted and new lighting and fencing installed. Due to the wet weather conditions, renovations were delayed in December and early January. The Pittsburgh Garrison Convention Center is also getting a facelift. The lobby restrooms have been updated, and the bleachers and drapes have been removed from the main convention floor. Additionally, the room dividers have been upgraded, and new drywall, paint, and carpeting have been installed. These renovations will not only give the convention center a brighter look, but they will allow for more seating. Come join in on a night of glitz and glamour as you walk the red carpet. The Pines Lufkin will be showing the Academy Awards on February 28th from 6 to 10 p.m. You're the star. Walk the red carpet in your most glamorous attire and have your photo taken by the paparazzi. Tickets are $20 each and will cover the cost of hors d'oeuvres and champagne. Call 936-633-0359 for more information or to reserve your tickets. And the Pines Theater is still the best place in town for a fun and economical movie night. And this year's movies will be offered twice a month. The Pines Theater has partnered with Kicks 105 as they offer their $5 film series. In February, it's a month for lovers. On February 5th, the Pines will be showing P.S. I Love You. And on February 27th, it's the classic Breakfast at Tiffany's. Then on March 4th, come see Twilight with some comedy on the side. It's a fun dub night. Kicks DJs will offer their own critics' commentary throughout the film. And then on March 12th, watch out, Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. All showtimes are at 7 p.m. All movie listings and ticket information can be found at thepineslufkin.com. And now is the time to get your tickets for the new 2016 Pines Presents series. This month, the Pines is pleased to be the first venue for the farewell tour of Christian Grammy Award singer Sandi Patty. Although the February 11th main concert is sold out, Sandi Patty has opened up her dress rehearsal to the public. Tickets are still available for this event. And coming March 8th is the Music City Hitmakers. Nashville's hottest songwriters perform and share the stories behind some of their biggest hits. You can find the complete Pines Presents listings and ticket information at thepineslufkin.com or call 633-0349. And if you are interested in having your next meeting or special event at the Pines, visit the Pines website or call 633-0279 to learn more about renting this historic facility. Be sure to keep track of all the Pines activities on its Facebook page or follow them on Twitter. The city and chamber dignitaries were on hand last month as Atkinson Candy Company broke ground on its new expansion project. The 38,000 square foot expansion will allow for a conversion of 2 current warehouses to a kitchen and production area. And along with the expansion comes the development of 32 new jobs. The council approved a 10-year tax abatement incentive package to assist with the expansion. Mayor Bob Brown expressed his thanks to the company for their new venture and for keeping the company in Lufkin where it began. It's tax season again. If you need help preparing your taxes, look no further than Goodwill Industries. That's right, Goodwill is once again offering free tax preparation for families earning $54,000 or less per year. IRS-trained volunteers will prepare your taxes at the Lufkin Goodwill offices located at 301 Hill Street and the TLL Temple Library in Diboll. New this year is a drop-off tax service. A taxpayer can leave their forms with Goodwill volunteers to prepare while the taxpayer is not there. Once the taxes are complete, taxpayers will be asked to come in to review the return with a preparer and sign the forms. Also this year, taxpayers have a couple of extra days to get their taxes filed. Federal offices in Washington, D.C. will be closed Friday, April 15th in observance of Emancipation Day. So taxpayers have until midnight Monday, April 18th to file their taxes. For information about this program, call Christy Bice at 936-632-8838. Seniors in the area are invited to join in the fun with Senior Circle. Woodland Heights Medical Center offers monthly luncheons that are held the second Wednesday of each month at noon at the Affinity Center. The program informs you about the many ways seniors can live healthy, save money, and have fun. Call Amanda Anderson at 637-8687 to RSVP and to learn more about joining Senior Circle. Next luncheon is February 10th. And February is Heart Month, and CHI St. Luke's Health Memorial invites you to be a part of a heart-healthy discussion. Free and open to the public, the Women's Power Lunch will feature heart health experts on Wednesday, February the 24th. Come join the hospital for an informative presentation and a heart-healthy lunch. To register for the luncheon, please call Lindsay Mott at 936-639-7613. Seating is limited to the first 125 guests. New exhibits are on display at the Museum of East Texas. Students from Lufkin, Hudson, Madisonville, and Trinity School Districts are displaying their works of art as part of the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo School Art Area Competition. This exhibition consists of art in a variety of mediums from students in grades K through 12, with a common theme of rodeo events and agricultural heritage. The show displays approximately 1,000 pieces of artwork, and students are competing for ribbons, medals, and scholarships. The exhibit will be on display until February the 14th. Also on display are prints by James Abbott McNeil Whistler. This exhibit runs from February 26th through May 19th. And watch for some fun events coming to the museum. On February the 20th, it's the annual Bug Clay, and then make plans for a week of activities for spring break at the museum March 7th through the 11th. Contact the museum for more details. The Angelina Arts Alliance's performance series continues this month as it brings Riverdance 20 Years, the anniversary tour. Since its arrival in 1994, nothing has carried the energy, sensuality, and the spectacle of Riverdance. Filled with passion and energy, Riverdance explores themes that express the heart of the Irish immigrants. The performance is at 7:30 p.m. on February the 23rd. For tickets, call the box office at 936-633-5454. Local health organizations have teamed up to educate the public about recommendations to receiving the human papillomas vaccine, or HPV. The Angelina County and City's Health District is one of the organizations supporting the HPV movement. Today we welcome members of the task force to learn more about HPV and who should consider taking the vaccine. I'd like to welcome Catherine and Chanel to our show, and we're going to discuss a really important topic, a health topic, and that is the human papillomas virus and whether or not it's important to get vaccinated. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you.
First of all, let's just start with the basic. What is the human papillomas virus?
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
HPV is actually a very common virus. It's most commonly sexually transmitted as far as if you were to look up HPV. However, we know that it's also skin-to-skin transmission. It's so common, in fact, that 1 out of 4 people in the U.S. are infected, and we all have a lifetime risk. In fact, that if you live to be 70 or 80 years old, you have essentially a 100% chance of getting this virus.
Okay.
Yes.
And so now there is a vaccine, but from what I understand, the vaccine has really been around for quite some time.
Yes, it's been around for 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so who qualifies for that vaccine?
Boys and girls. The recommended age is 9, anywhere between 9 and 26. So the prime time to vaccinate would be 11, middle school age. That's when the immunity is the best.
And what are the side effects?
Most common reported side effect is just redness at the injection site, some soreness, just like with any other vaccination. And then just like with any other vaccination, sometimes children will faint or have just a syncopal episode, but there have been no poor side effects reported with the vaccination.
So it's important to know that, like what you said a few minutes ago, that the vaccine has been around for 10 years.
10 years.
Mm-hmm. And so many people are going, oh, they think it's new, and like, let's just wait it out and see, we don't know
Right.
these side effects. But like you're saying, there's been a lengthy trial period, or not
Absolutely.
to determine if there are those side effects.
There's been 50 million vaccines given in the U.S. alone.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, you said if you didn't get it, you have a greater risk of developing cancer. What type of cancer?
Well, actually, cervical cancer, approximately 90% of the cervical cancers are caused directly from HPV. There's over 100 different strains of HPV, but we know, in fact, that most all cervical cancers are directly linked to HPV. However, there's several cancers related to HPV. There's cervical, vulvar, vaginal, penile, anal, and now most all oropharyngeal throat cancers are related to HPV as well. So it impacts everyone, and that's why it's so important for both boys and girls now to get the HPV vaccine.
So the vaccine, more than 10 years old or so, there has been a lot of research done. I mean, a lot of things have changed what we know 10 years ago about the human papillomavirus today.
Yes, the HPV used to be linked just to genital warts, but now they're noticing, now the research has proven that these cellular changes are causing the cancer, so other types of cancers. That's why we're seeing the throat and seeing it in anal and other parts of the body.
So are the pediatricians on board with this?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's why, it's so imperative that we vaccinate these younger children. And sometimes the parents are so afraid of, well, why my 11-year-old, why my 12-year-old, they're not, they say they're not sexually active. It doesn't apply to them. Well, these cancers take years to decades to develop and change these certain areas of the body that we mentioned. So we want to catch these children before they ever even consider addressing those. But again, it goes back to, this is not a virus that is only caught by sexual activity. This is, again, skin to skin, things that we used to call making out, hand to genital contact, things that come well before these children would consider even having sex. So we want to get them at those young ages to give them the best immune response with that vaccination, so that they have antibodies well before to prevent them from exposure.
Let's talk about the vaccine. Is it 1 shot, 2 shots?
The vaccine is a 3 series shots. You give the vaccine, and then the second dose will be given at 1 to 2 months, and then the third dose is so it's within 6 months you'll get 3 doses.
Okay. And tell me how the health department is involved with this. I know you all offer the vaccines, but I mean, you're also part of this movement to get everyone vaccinated.
Yes. So we at the Angelina County and Cities Health District have partnered with the Children's Clinic and Angelina Pediatrics to do this campaign and just to have the awareness of, this, there is a prevention for this type of cancer, and get these children vaccinated.
Okay, so you can go to your local pediatrician's office,
Right.
or
Yes.
doctor's office, general practitioner, I guess.
Yes.
Yes.
But that you also can come to the health district as
Yes.
well. Tell me
Yes.
about that.
Yes, welcome anybody to the Angelina County and Cities Health District. If financial means are, we will work with you. So there is a way we can get it, even if it's cost. Insurance does cover.
Medicaid pays for it. Most private insurances have.
We'll pay for it?
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
So what is the cost of the vaccine?
At the health department, it's $15 per vaccination, and again, Medicaid will cover it. And then most primary insurances have it included with well visits.
And you were mentioning, though, if someone is financially unable to pay for it, the health department has
There's assistance programs.
Okay.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay, great. And let's talk about where the health department's located, where you go to get your immunizations, because it's grown a little bit through the years. And do you make an appointment, or how does all that work?
For the vaccinations, I do not believe you have to have an appointment. You can just walk in, and we're there Monday through Friday, and I believe it's 503 Hill Street
Yes, 503 Hill Street, and it's actually the building behind.
at the Preventative Health Center.
So.
Okay. And if you'd like more information, who should you call, or is there a website with more information that you can share?
Yes, actually, we would love for people to check out activeliving.com and check out the Angelina County and Cities Facebook page.
Is there going to be a registry of how many people actually sign up for this vaccine? Are you going to keep track of that?
We do have a registry program for all vaccinations. Sarah Adams actually is over all of our vaccinations, and she will be keeping up with all of that.
Okay, that'll be interesting. And okay, so if you are interested in taking your child to the health department, that's on Hill Street, you can get the vaccination there for the HPV. or you can get that at your local pediatrician's office. And for more information, call the Angelina County and City's Health District, and they will be happy to answer those questions and point you in the right direction. Ladies, thank you for joining us.
Thank
on
you.
Holiday
Thank
and
you.
sharing
Thank you
this
so much.
important information. And knowledge is power. And
Absolutely.
it's a wonderful campaign because so many people don't know enough about HPV, and we appreciate you sharing your information with us today.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
He is no stranger to Channel 15, and he knows his way around the kitchen. I'm talking about Memorial Cooking Innovations host Mr. Tim Scallon. Each day, Tim shares his passion and excitement about eating healthy, along with a guest chef on the cooking show that is now being broadcasted in more than 60 cities across the nation. I recently had the opportunity to visit Tim in the Polk Education Center kitchen, where we talked about how the show started and how it has grown through the years. Well, Tim, thanks for allowing me to come into your kitchen here and talk to you a little bit about Memorial Cooking Innovations and about the new nutritional guidelines, something that we all want to hear something about. So it's a pleasure to have you.
Well, Yana, you're always welcome in the Memorial Cooking Innovations kitchen. What can I tell you about Memorial Cooking
Well,
Innovations?
as you can see, we're not cooking anything, or
Yeah.
otherwise I wouldn't be behind the
We'd
stove.
have an apron on you.
No, you probably, I'd be watching. But, for years now, I think it's been 8 years since
Yes.
Memorial Cooking Innovations has been on Channel 15
Yeah.
and online.
Yeah.
And a lot of great recipes. I've sat here and watched you all make wonderful recipes, heart-healthy recipes. I've tasted them, really, really good. It's been such a pleasure, and it's been such a journey.
Well, Yana, people think that eating healthy is losing the taste, and of course, that's the very myth that Memorial Cooking Innovations works to explode, because eating healthy really is about enjoying food, enjoying cooking, learning to cook, but it's also, I don't have to never eat fried foods again.
Rather, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's right. Rather, I just want to pick some healthy choices, get some fruits into my daily routine. And so you see that in our recipes and in what we talk about on the show.
And for those of you who don't know, Memorial Cooking Innovations actually started out as a live show that you held here at CHI St. Luke's Health.
Yes.
And then we thought, well, let's expand it.
Yes. Actually, you thought of that.
So to bigger audiences,
Yes.
and now tell us where we are on that.
Well, now Memorial Cooking Innovations is online in 62 cities around the country. We're in 8 cities in Texas, so a lot of people are picking up this message of, I want to eat a little healthier, and I like food, I want to learn how to cook. So
and you get a lot of feedback.
A lot of feedback. In fact, I hear from people on a regular basis, and I love it. If you see me, I want you to say something about Memorial Cooking Innovations, because I love to hear what people have to say.
And if you don't get online to see the show, or you miss the show on Channel 50, of course it runs on a loop quite often throughout the day, or like I said, if you don't get it online, of course you can read a column that Tim also writes, and you're in how many papers?
Well, we're in 9 newspapers in the East Texas area.
So every month you write about something healthy, and then you provide the recipe.
Yeah, and so if you go online at CHI St. Luke's Health Memorial, you look for the Memorial Cooking Innovations webpage, and then once you find that page, you'll look for my picture and click on that. That'll take you not only to all of our past shows and recipes, which you can download in your kitchen and make as you're watching, but also the articles that you're talking about. These articles that I write monthly are on various topics in health and nutrition.
And speaking of nutrition, we were just talking off camera about the new guidelines. And,
Yes.
I'm saying, okay, well, what are you going to tell us now? We can't eat this or that, or now we can. And you were talking about soft drinks.
Well, the U.S. dietary guidelines are just that. They point people in a direction for healthy living. And they revise these about every 5 years. Well, this year's revision is about, there's a number of things, but one of the new things is reduce our consumption of concentrated sweets. Now, when we say sugars, I'm not using that word because there's milk sugar, fruit sugar, those are good things. But you're really looking for table sugar, concentrated sweets. Corn syrup is another name for that. And so if we want to make a dent in the sweets that we eat, a good place to focus might be, if I'm a soda drinker, is reduce how many sodas. 9 teaspoons of sugar in one 12-ounce soda.
That's a lot. Yeah, and I know here at the Polk Education Center, they actually have some visual aids that,
Yes.
if you think, okay, would you say 9?
9 teaspoons.
9 teaspoons of sugar.
Imagine digging into the sugar bowl 9 times and put it in that.
Yeah,
that-
and so you see this in a Coke bottle or a soft drink bottle, and you think, wow, that's a lot of
That's a lot of sugar in it.
And I can speak from experience. 13 years ago, I got off soft drinks.
I'm so proud of you.
But let me tell you, it is a journey. It is
Yes.
a challenge.
Yes.
If you are contemplating that, just get through that first month and get through that or first couple of weeks, because you do go into withdrawals,
Well, and here's something.
caffeine withdrawals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's both in a soda. But here's what I advise people on sweets. So if you eat sweets on a regular basis, what you want to do is replace the concentrated sweets with fresh fruit. Fruit is something we need to eat more of anyway. What we're doing is we're getting our palate used to a less not-in-your-face sweet. And the more we get away from that concentrated sweet, the more we don't crave it as much. So we don't set
So it is a
those-
craving.
It is a craving. And we reinforce that craving the more sweets we eat.
So
more
the
you eat, more you want 'em.
longer we can get off of that, then the easier it is. So do you eat
Yes.
sweets?
I'm not really a big sweets
Is
eater.
it because you've trained your palate?
Well, I'm going to say yes and no to that. Now, I do eat a bite of dark chocolate,
that's
after
supposed to
a
be good
meal.
for you, right?
Yeah, that's right. But dark chocolate isn't very sweet. It's kind of bitter.
It is.
If you haven't eaten that. So the quick answer on that is I'm satisfied with not eating sweets, but everybody's not in that place. All I can say is that if a tactic to reduce my sweets consumption is replace them with fresh fruit, and try to get to where you do that on a regular basis.
Fresh fruit without the whipped cream and chocolate.
Yes.
So just
Now, on our Memorial Cooking Innovations, we do some fruit desserts, and sometimes we might add a dollop of whipped cream. But the point is we're working fruit into our diet,
Right.
and that's the real benefit of healthy eating, is working in those healthy foods more often, and the less healthy foods, letting go of those more.
those are some good tips. And I'm going to keep that in mind as we are getting into 2016. And every day I try, and every day I fall off the wagon.
Well, that's
But,
okay.
I'm really making an effort to do that and trying to stay active as well. But, it's hard to balance work and family and exercise. But I know when I do exercise, I do feel so much better.
And we never give up the fight. If I haven't if I haven't reached my weight goal yet, just keep working your plan. Don't give up the fight.
Any other guidelines that we need to be aware of?
Well, I would say watch Memorial Cooking Innovations. Check out the website because there's a wealth of information there. Either catch the current show on Channel 15 here in Lufkin, or if you're online, find us online, and there's a lot of good tips there. And this is sound nutrition advice. This isn't just someone's opinion about what I should be doing.
Right. As you know, Tim is a registered dietitian. And then we also have one of the chefs here.
Yes.
Chef Mike.
Chef Mike Hodgkins.
And then sometimes we bring in folks from the community who cook
And we even go into the community.
And we do. We do. We've been to several restaurants. They've invited us into their kitchen, and
That's right. We have a lot of fun.
other establishments, and it's a lot of fun, and it's an eye opener. So the whole gist of this is to get our community eating healthy.
That's right.
It does. Yeah. It started out as someone, if you have a heart condition, and let's eat heart healthy, or diabetes. But now let's all eat healthy. It's aimed at let's stop those problems before they start.
That's right. That's right. Healthy eating is for everyone.
Okay, so be sure to check out Tim and his chef, who I don't know who's going to be next time.
You'll have to watch to see.
But check them out right here on Channel 15 with Memorial Cooking Innovations, or online at memorialhealth.org or thecityoflufkin.com. Tim, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Looking forward to those new recipes.
Well, and come back to Memorial Cooking Innovations Kitchen anytime.
Thank you.
All right.
A 16-year veteran officer of the Lufkin Police Force has been chosen by his peers as Officer of the Year for 2015. We recently rode along with Officer Ibarra and talked with him about how the department strives every day to provide the best service to the Lufkin community.
Officer Ibarra, congratulations on your award. It must feel pretty good to know that your peers actually nominated you for this.
Yes, ma'am, it is. It's an honor. You know, to know that, you know, that your other officers or your peers that you work with or that I work with, you know, they kind of voted me in as Officer of the Year.
Right. You know, it's one thing to receive an award, and that's great, but when it's your peers, that says so much. And it sounds like that they really like the way you communicate and your professionalism. What are they telling you? Why did they cast a ballot in favor of you?
I think several of the things that, you know, they mentioned was, or that the people that I talked to, they were saying that, you know, my attitude, I come to work with a good attitude. You know, I do the work with without complaining. Have a good attitude towards the public and towards our employees or people that I work with.
Well, you know, it's hard to keep a good attitude sometimes, especially in law enforcement. You guys are, you know, obviously you're in harm's way. So many things are going on with law enforcement today as far as just being safe on the streets. There's so many crimes against police officers, and it's hard to come in with a good attitude.
It is, especially like you mentioned, you know, the things that's going on right now, law enforcement, sometimes we'll get the negative officers do this or do that, you know, but you have to come into work, you have to have a good attitude to be able to do the job that we deal with each and every day, which, you know, the stress that we deal with, the decisions that we make, we have to make them, you know, at the split second, and if you already have that negativity, and if you come to work with more negativity, and then, you know, chances of, you know, getting yourself hurt, or, you know, the negativity that you bring to work can have an influence on the rest of the officers, you know. So, you know, I try to bring a good attitude to work, you know, so that, you know, we got to work here 12 hours, so might as well make it a good 12 hours.
Good one. Well, how do you relieve stress then? I mean, how do you, because like you said, it's a stressful job. How do you
one of the things is
handle that?
The way I handle that is, you know, I'm a very, I go to church, and one of the things is that I kind of relieve myself as far as, you know, relying on the good Lord to be able to help me through my situations. And that's one thing that I've always done in my career for 19 years, is that, you know, I let the good Lord, you know, kind of help me through the daily task. And I think if it wasn't for him, you know, I think I would kind of let the job drive me crazy. And another thing is, I don't take the job very personal.
Yeah.
You know, when people scream at me or they call me names or whatever they do, I just don't let it get to me.
Yeah.
And I think I try to teach that to these new officers, you know, don't take it too personal. And I think that's what happens with a lot of officers, you know, they tend to hate their job, or they don't want to come to work because they take it too personal.
Yeah. Well, and that makes sense. I mean, it takes a certain personality for any type of career, and apparently you've got the right one. Well, let's just talk a little bit about your background. You lived in Lufkin for a long time, but you're not originally from Lufkin, right?
No, ma'am, I'm not originally from Lufkin. I was born in Mexico, just on the side of Eagle Pass, a small town called Piedras Negras. I was born there, but I was raised in Nueva Rosita, which is in about 150, 200 miles from there. And then my parents came to America when I was 3 years old, and they stopped at San Antonio, and then they stayed there for a little bit, and then they kind of worked themselves north, and they ended up in Lufkin, which back then was a small town, and the Hispanic community was small. But and the whole thing, my dad came was because he was going to work for a little bit and then gather up some money and then go back to Mexico. But I thank God that he decided to stay. Yes, ma'am.
Well, there are many programs that you're involved in with the Lufkin Police Department, and one being, is it called the the chaplain program, the Kappa.
Yes, ma'am.
Kappa? We talked to several chaplains last year who went through the program, and I know you were one of the trainers, and that's a phenomenal program. Can you talk about what that program is?
The Kappa is kind of, to show our community leaders, that what police officers do and what officers go through. There's different sections that the individual goes through. They go from knowing what the property tech does to what the CID or detectives do, and what the CERT or SWAT team goes through, traffic. And part of my training is to teach them about the traffic laws, about our DWIs and traffic stops, where the difference between a misdemeanor and a felony traffic stop, and also they get the chance to, another section is to shoot the weapons. They do several scenarios where they're put in stressful situations where they have to make a split second decision whether to shoot the suspect or to chase them or handcuff them, which it opens their eyes to law enforcement, and it helps them realize that it's not easy, being a police officer.
Right. And the beauty of that program is they turn around, take it back to their congregation.
Yes. And the information that they gather is also they shared with their congregation. Like you said, they inform them how to conduct themselves when they approach by an officer, or when they get pulled over. They tell them to act this way or don't do this. The whole thing is cooperate. Listen to the officer's instructions, and if you do that, everything's gonna go well. But again, if the officer's misbehaving or he's rude or he did something wrong, there's always a chain of command that the person can go to. Is to the captain to the chief, and kind of file a report on the officer's behavior if there was any.
Yeah, and that's important to remember. It seems like every time you turn on the news now, you hear of some type of either a policeman being shot or a policeman shooting someone. This is just a lot of, I don't know if the word is uncertainty, but there's just so much going on with law enforcement, so many things that's in the spotlight right now.
It is. It's like I was telling my, I'm also a field training officer, and I'm training the new officer that, several years ago, leaving the house wasn't a problem, but now with everything's going on, it's kind of, I kind of have to watch my bag from leaving the house to my car, because, the danger's there.
Yeah.
Anybody can just walk up, like you said, we hearing officers getting shot by pumping gas in their unit, it can happen that easily.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. So what do you think is the biggest challenge in Lufkin now when it comes to fighting crime?
The biggest challenge is trying to get the community's trust. As far as we want the community to trust us, and we want them to know that that hey, we're here to provide a service. It's like I tell people, the citizens are the ones. They're our ears and eyes. Without their help, we can't do our jobs.
Right.
The way crimes are solved, is because people call in, hey, there's a suspicious person climbing through somebody's door, so they call us, we respond, and that's how the bad guys caught. It's because of their help, and we want them to trust us that we're here to serve them, and there's a job that we need to do, and it's to provide for their protection.
Well, you all are certainly doing a fantastic job. I know the police force has grown quite a bit through the years, and it's just a great operation, and Lufkin enjoys one of the lower crime rates in the state and in the nation. So that's something to really be proud of. It doesn't say we don't have our challenges. We do have that, but we're certainly not way up there with some of those other cities.
Yes, like you compare like Houston or Dallas or Austin, stuff like that, but yes,
Or even some of the smaller cities, not the big metropolitan. There are some small towns that really are struggling with keeping the place safe.
Yes, yeah, like I say, it is a task, but Lufkin Police Department has a good. We do have a good police department. I'm not saying that because I work here, but throughout my years here, they emphasize on training, and we have the adequate training to deal with situations or circumstances that they train us to react and how to answer calls and how to handle situations. But Lufkin has a good training that they want their officers trained.
And that's so important. Well, Officer Ibarra, thank you for letting me ride along with you today. I was hoping that we might get a traffic stop or maybe going out on a call or something.
Okay, we can do that.
You're serious.
Okay, we can do that.
Well, thanks for joining us. I appreciate the ride along.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
That's all for this edition of City Hall Update. We appreciate you joining us and hope you will tune in again to get the latest information about the city and the surrounding area. I'm Yana Ogletree. Have a great day.